is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Dylan, today we do not have time for bits, we don't have time for introductions, we only have time to plug the network. The Cinderella Tournament is so bad this year. this this thing is awful, and it's for one reason, one big reason. It does not matter, and all the potential winners are incredibly uninteresting.
Yeah.
Like, how have they nuked this tournament to this degree? I am amazed.
No, yeah, I it's funny because you texted me about it the other day, like when the Final Four just got announced, and you were like, I feel like people are kind of overreacting a bit. And I'm just like, ah, I don't know. I think we need to watch this because this feels bad. And you're like, I don't know, we'll see. And then today you're just like, no, I get it now. And I'm just like,
hmm
it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good predicament we're in.
Yeah.
And the way that we got here is even more frustrating because I feel like a lot of the Cinderella felt like, oh, this could give this person potential, and then they got knocked out in round 3 or 4,
hmm
and there's gone, right? Like Natsuko, not saying that Natsuko should have won, but like I was like, oh, maybe she could make like a little run and like it'll spice things up a little bit. And then Ami simply beat her, like just like forehead. And I was like, that's crazy. Like there's no it's just Mai Sakurai. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, in its own way, the Final Four isn't terrible, but the build to all four of them, Waka aside, because she wasn't even meant to be in the tournament, like Sunny has said that. He said X could not get here, so Waka was the replacement. Um, None of the winners feel like they're going to get anything because
No.
they've already decided whoever wins this is a fodder defense because Yokohama is the important thing, right? Like
Mhm.
they tried to have their cake and eat it by saying we're going to do the Triangle Derby, we're going to go right from the Derby into the Cinderella with no time to build up anybody. Then we're going to do Yokohama Arena, our biggest, best show ever. You've completely skipped over the Cinderella almost, and it's shown because it's been the weakest part of some of the recent shows. Like that Corkin, the weakest parts, were the Cinderella matches, and then when it was about Yokohama Arena, things got going. There was
Yeah.
life there. The Cinderella tournament, it was like, yeah, it's like, who cares? I don't care. The winner's gonna lose to Mina or Julia. Like, okay, I guess.
And that's
Like,
why I also think that it was used on the wrong person, regardless of who of the four wins, right?
mm-hmm,
Like, because at this point, I'm kind of thinking Mariah May should have won this, right? Like that's where I'm at, and she lost already, obviously. But she could win and then lose, and it would still be like a big deal for her because she's a foreigner, she's new here, and it's like, oh, she like it would give her the Mariah gimmick, right? They debuted the same day, just a year apart, right?
mm-hmm,
They could have just redone it with Mariah, like redone it with Mariah, Mariah. That's crazy. Like literally, just do the Mariah story with Mariah. She can lose to Mina. That makes the most sense in the world, and it gives her like this big accolade. She seems pretty gung ho about staying with Stardom as long as possible. That works. I think that would be perfect. But instead, it's like it's gonna elevate theoretically either Mai, Waka, or Ami, and none of those three people need to be elevated to lose right now, right?
The thing is, Mai could have been it because they have a spot to fill in DDM. She could fill that spot that Himeka is in, and I can see their thought process of, okay, we'll give her a losing effort to Mina. It'll really put her over the top, and that'll put her into the upper echelon. Because that's kind of what this tournament can do. But she's doing this new gimmick now that is completely like lower card comedy. Like,
She's also kind of exposing herself in a singles
Yeah,
sense because
that too.
she's been killing it as a tag team wrestler for a while now, but like I'm just thinking about it, it's like these like 6 minute matches are not good. What is she gonna do when she has to have a 15-minute match or a
Mhm.
20-minute match? And it gets concerning because I like Mai Sakurai. I think she's a great tag wrestler. I think she's a great plunder wrestler, which not a lot of wrestlers are good at plunder in this company. So she's good at that anytime they want to do that, but she's just not that singles wrestler, right?
No.
Like the only great singles matches she had, in my opinion, was that one against Julia in the first round. And that was because Julia beat the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
Like it's very concerning, everything adding up in this Cinderella tournament. And it makes me even more sad because, obviously, like I wanted certain wrestlers to win, but even somebody who I don't like the Starlight Kid, would have made probably more sense to win
Mhm.
than any of the four, right? And it feels very strange that they're going in this direction. And,
Yeah.
it is a shame because the Cinderella is a very fun tournament traditionally, and it feels like a lot of the intrigue has just been like sucked out of it immediately.
Yeah. They didn't give themselves enough room. Had you
No, not at all.
put stock into Mai Sakurai, you could have done this. But trying to do this out of the blue with Mai Sakurai, with a gimmick that I think completely limits her to the mid card, like you're never gonna push somebody doing this her ladyship's nonsense. It would be like if TJPW had Tom Harajuku versus Now Kakta in the final four of Princess Cup. But then they said the winner of Princess Cup isn't challenging at Wrestle Princess. And at Wrestle Princess, by the way, we're doing Mercedes Money versus Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito versus Mizuki. Nobody in their right mind is going to give a shit about Tom Harajuku versus Now Kakta anymore in that scenario. But that's exactly what Stardom has done here because they're like, oh, pay attention to the Cinderella. Oh, by the way, here's one of the most stacked shows in the history of Joshi wrestling.
That
Like,
renders the Cinderella completely obsolete.
that was also like whoever wins Cinderella is fodder, complete fodder for Mina or Julia. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know how like this was such a good tournament for so long, and this year it's like Rossi tried to juggle too much, and it's just fallen on him because it's completely just the vibes are off. This tournament doesn't feel important.
I
Nobody
also
feels like earned. It doesn't feel like anybody's earned this spot in the final four except Waka. She also wasn't meant to be in it, so I don't even know at this
I
stage.
feel like I feel like another problem, and this has been a problem forever, but I think that it really highlights it this year, is how long the Cinderella tournament is.
Hmm.
Because if they just did it like this has been what I've been campaigning for, just did like a double shot or I guess now it's fucking 36 people, but like if they just did like a weekend where it's bola style and they just do as many matches as possible, get to the final, and it's done in a weekend, they could
Hmm.
have done that, the weekend of the first, right? And or even the weekend before that when it actually started. They could have done that then, and Mina could have won and challenged Saya, right? It would
Yeah.
be like a week or two late. Who cares? Like they're already building Julia Tam. They don't need that for that match. So they could have done that, but because they have to drag it out until, you know, what, 9 days before the big show, they can't do anything at the big show because the big show needs to be confirmed.
Yep.
And it just is bizarre that they put themselves in this position. And like you said with the Triangle Derby, they could have done it earlier, the Cinderella. They could have started earlier and done the same thing. But because the Triangle Derby only ended, you know, 3 weeks before the Cinderella started, they didn't have time.
Hmm.
Everything scheduling wise about this has been fucked. And I think you could kind of see it from the jump, right? Because like I said, I want Micah to win. But then I was thinking about it while I was watching the first show, and I was like, if Michael wins, she just goes 0 and what 9 now or 0 and 8 at this point.
Yeah.
Like there's no way of her. And I'm not saying now Micah has a chance of winning a championship. She probably doesn't. But her winning the Cinderella would have just been the Cinderella. It wouldn't have put her anywhere. The issue now is that Micah just winning the Cinderella is good for Micah. I feel like Mai Sakurai or Waka or Ami winning the Cinderella and then losing kind of just makes the Cinderella look bad instead of making the like it just I don't know. I feel like if they were going to make it so not important, they could have given it to somebody who like could use it but doesn't need it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had thought like Mariah May or Tekla would win, so they could bring back the
Yeah.
SWA belt.
Yeah, that would be
And
perfect too.
I mean, technically, somebody like Mai could do that, but I mean, it wouldn't make as much sense unless they gave it to Mai, which I wouldn't be like opposed to. But working off
I
the
mean,
assumption,
wasn't Waka saying that she would just challenge for the future belt?
probably, yeah. But like the thing with
That's the
Waka,
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
well, I get it because that's her like her goal. But the thing with her that I keep going back to is like Sunny basically said she wasn't meant to be in it, so her winning would just be a complete oh we changed all our plans.
To be
So
fair, this also depends on who the X is, which everybody knows by the time they're listening to this because it's happening tonight.
yes.
Um, so if like the X is like some crazy good foreigner, it's not going to be. It's going to be some chick who's had 7 matches from Wales. That's my guess right now. But if it's some like crazy good foreigner, it's possible that Waka wins this just on accident because maybe they really wanted to elevate this random foreigner who couldn't get here in time. But I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I feel like they'd have just delayed her match to the second round by then. Or no, they wouldn't have been able to. She wouldn't have got here. They would have delayed it. They would have found a way to make it work
Not
if
just
it
giving
was
it to
the
Waka.
woman winning, yeah. But I don't know, like I feel like unless you do something out of left field with the winner, the majority of them are just gonna be fodder for champions who were crowned at a more important show, and that just puts everybody in a bad spot. And I think Mai Sakurai winning was their best chance of something interesting coming out of this Final Four. But now she's doing this new gimmick that kind of completely destroys it. Because I don't hate the gimmick, but it's not world champion material, you know?
It's also, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the shows, but it's an interesting departure, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
very random,
I
very
feel
out of
like
nowhere.
I feel like they were like, "Oh, yes," like, she, like, is kind of sadistic. She kinda has that, like, the dominatrix kinda gimmick with, Linda and Chanyota, right? And it's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's kinda like that." But that was kinda just like a bit, right? That's how it felt, where it's just like, "Oh, yeah, she's just kind of weird sometimes." It's like, imagine, have you seen that tweet where it's like, "Oh, Mariah's actually kinda schizophrenic," and she just kind of references this randomly, and it's kinda funny,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine if that was her gimmick, that Mirai was schizophrenic.
Mhm.
It's not just like a little bit that she like, oh, she plays around with sometimes. It's like, no, every show she acts schizophrenic. That would be bad. That's how I feel about this, right? It's like it's funny if it's like an undertone thing, but I feel like this like whole like, oh no, she's just going to like berate and degrade the crowd every time. Wow, that's where we're at now. That's crazy. Like that feels weird. It's all weird. And what other thing, because I didn't get to talk about it last week, I'm also upset because if they're going to do like the lower card gimmick, there were so many good wrestlers that could have gone far in this that didn't. Like you could have
Oh, yeah.
gotten Inaba in there, you could
Mhm.
have gotten Hanan in there, like you Unimon maybe. Like I mean, like, but still, like there are so many good undercard wrestlers that could have really used this like kind of forward movement, even if it's just to get to the semifinals or the quarters, and they just got eliminated first round. And I'm just like, was this? I don't know. I get that the Waka thing probably messed it up with Foreigner being gone. They couldn't really change things around, shuffle things around, but it just feels very strange that like Mai Sakurai and Waka and Ami Sore are all in the final four and Hanan and Tomoki Inaba were out first round. Like that feels so bizarre to me. Not bizarre, just it feels like if you're gonna go this way, you could have done more with it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, like Ami and Mai Sakurai are people that they like, so them being in the final four isn't bad
It's not
to me.
surprising and it's not
No,
bad.
like it's pretty standard, but Ami is kind of in this weird spot where she's already future champ. She's probably going to be tag champ. So her winning it would just be complete overkill. Um, and my Sakurai, as I keep saying, I keep going back to it, has just started this really bad new gimmick. So, like, without the gimmick, I'd be fine with my winning. But with it, I'm like, yeah, you should just go on over there and do white belt stuff and just never go near Julia again. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, the Cinderella tournament is not fun. But you know what is fun? we got the announcement of the full card for the Yokohama Arena show. Everybody calls it the
Are we
Yokohama
just not?
Arena show.
Are we just not going to do the plugs and like actually
No,
intro the show? Okay.
sure. Like,
5-star network. Shout out.
oh yeah. Um, yeah, I don't they don't have the name of the show, but it's not the Yokohama Arena show, but that's what everybody
No, it's
calls it.
a
It's like All Star
it's All
Grand
Star Grand
Slam,
Queendom.
Grand
Queendom.
Queendom. Yeah, okay. We have the full card for that show, and boy is it great. So
That's a
we
crazy
have
one.
we have a Yokohama Rumble, which currently has Momoe Nakanishi announced.
Shouts out.
The god of Joshi, Momoe Nakanishi.
The greatest high speed wrestler to never hold the high speed championship.
Very much so. Her and Anai had a few moments there where Anai was like, "Hey, I remember you."
Wait a
Um,
minute.
that was very fun, and she's the only wrestler announced so far. But
But
um,
that's already a match of the show candidate because she's in
yeah,
it.
pretty much. I just like this is where all the cannon fodder is gonna be, but they could probably get on a few legends as well, which is nice because when Stardom running these venues that Joshi hasn't run since AJW, it gives the wrestlers a chance to like show up in them again. You know, like when Kyoko Inoue when she was in the Nippon Budokan. It was like, oh, she
Yeah.
hasn't been here since like '97. Like that's crazy. And it's the same for the Momoes of the world. So it's always nice to see the legends get to come back and wrestle in these big arenas that AJW used to run.
Yeah, totally. I'm really excited for. As long, you know what? Even if Kikatari was in it, fuck it. I'm excited. I mean, fuck that guy. I don't want him in it, but I enjoy Rumbles a lot more than most people. I find them pretty funny and pretty fun. And Moe Nakanishi being in it makes me very, very happy.
That is valid. The next match then is Fua-chan and well, it's an X, but it's going to be Hazuki versus
Yeah.
Utami Hayashishita and Miyu Amasaki. So that's just kind of their way of showcasing Utami on the big TV when all the people are like, "Oh my God, that's Fua-chan." So
Yeah.
that's a cool match, and I mean Utami and Hazuki are gonna do some fun stuff there, I imagine.
Yeah, so as of right now, the cards are have X's on them because the the idea is that the Mercedes triple threat match hasn't happened yet, so they aren't going to give away who is and who isn't on the Yokohama card yet. So also Azumi will be in a card that or in a match that we'll talk about in a couple minutes, but they haven't announced it because she might be IWGP champion, which she won't be, but you know.
That's fair. Um, Next match then, this is a bit of a weird one. It's Mariah May, Xena, Tekla, and X. Although the website has Jessie, so I guess Jessie is gonna be the X. Do you know any Jessies?
I'm sure there's a Jesse in Wales that had 4 matches, Alex. That's my. I'm just. You know what's funny
What if
is
it's
that I'm using
Jessica
Wales.
Troy? Wouldn't that be badass?
I haven't seen Jessica Troy. No, I have.
Really?
I have.
Yeah.
She's decent
She's meant to be good,
from
but
what I remember.
she's the only
Yeah.
Jessie that I can think of. I assume it's a mistake, but it's very weird that they didn't put an X and put a name
Yeah.
instead.
I will say that I'm just using some random chick from Wales because Wales is the most like it's the first place I think of that's like, where does nobody expect a motherfucking wrestler to come from? Wales, that's it. That's it. Even though Nixon was from Wales. It doesn't matter, let's move on.
And that team is against Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, Momo Watanabe, and Ruaka. So that is the thing. Um,
Tekla and Mariah have great chemistry together, like on
yes.
the mic.
The
It was
foreigners were all
very
mean
funny.
to each other. Mariah was like, "You don't have certain assets to be in Club Angels," and it was like,
You ain't got no
"Oh,
titties.
yeah." And then they called Xena stupid, and I was like, you know what? That is valid.
Bro, like they every single comment was just a backhanded compliment. It was beautiful. Like Mariah's like, you might not have boobs, but you're kind of an all right wrestler. So I guess we'll team with you. And Tekla's like, well, this chick's fucking dumb. And Mariah's like, no, she's not. Say something in Japanese. And then she says something in Japanese incorrectly. It was great. Great bits, great time. Loved it.
We might have to meme Xena to Stardom because she is
Honestly, I don't
so
know if we'll
funny.
even need to. I don't even know. Did you see the Mariah match? She was kicking. She
She,
has some kicks.
I mean,
I kind of dig it.
she's got good chops and stuff, but it's I think the outside of the ring stuff is funnier because she seems like
Oh,
the
she is.
definition of no thoughts, head empty.
Oh
And
yeah, she is like negative charisma. It's
yes,
incredible.
oh
Like I didn't
yes,
think it was possible.
yeah, she is.
Like, and that's the thing. I was like, damn, she's like kind of good. It's just kind of hard to like see it when she just is not there.
It's amazing. Like my favorite type of person is no thoughts head empty. Like I love these people, and that is Xena. And if she keeps doing it, like I will stan forever. That's all I need. Um, Now the next match is this is the good one. We have Mai Sakurai and X, which is going to be Azumi, against Starlight Kid and Mei Hoshizuki.
She's real.
We
I need to
finally.
start. Who's next? Because I feel like every time I start saying they
I don't
aren't
know.
real, they actually become real.
I was just thinking
Pam
that.
is not real.
Yeah, because as soon as we gave up on Mei Hoshizuki ever coming back, they were like, "Here you go, bitches!" Like that is
Yeah,
so funny. But yeah, people thought she would team with Mei Sakurai, but she's teaming with Starlight Kid, which is kind of strange. But
I
I
hate it.
don't care
I like why do they give why do they feed uh
because Mei
they
is
let all of
pinning
my favorite
Azumi.
wrestlers be. Oh no, 100%. And if Azumi still has the belt, which I imagine she will now,
Yeah,
over Saki, it's going to be May. How do you pronounce her last name now?
I
Like
think
your
it's
new one,
Sarah.
Sarah,
Yeah,
May Sarah.
Mei Sarah.
Not
Yeah.
crazy about that one,
Mm.
but I feel like Starm's been missing with names lately. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, but yeah, she's definitely next high speed champion. Uh, Either wins it from Azumi or wins it from Saki. Whoever wins that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so
She's dope.
Mei Hoshizuki, for those who don't know, used to wrestle in Marvelous. She disappeared like 2 years ago alongside Mikoto Shindo and Hibiki. Hibiki retired after a brief run in Sendai Girls. Mei Hoshizuki eventually showed back up in Wave as Kohaku. No, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Goat, by the
Shindo.
way.
Shindo showed up as Kohaku, and now Mei Hoshizuki
Yes.
is going by Mei Seira. She's fantastic. She is everything you'd like about high speed wrestling. And yeah, if she hasn't missed a beat, this match could be fantastic. Like her and Mei Saruga doing shit is just going to be generational.
Yeah, she had one of Azumi's best matches
Hmm?
back in the day. Um, what in 2020? Was that late 2020?
Yeah.
Uh, that was an incredible match between the two of them. And that's also why this entire thing is like strange because Azumi and her are supposed to be homies. Like they're supposed to be close homies.
Yeah.
Because like Azumi was like, "Yeah, let's team up. Let's like do tag league or something." She's like, "Okay," and then she fell off the face of the earth. And now she's back wrestling against her. So that's interesting to me. But yeah, I'm excited to see her back. I hope she hasn't missed a step. It's been a while, so I don't know how. I don't know what she's been doing in this time. I imagine she hasn't been training, but I hope that she, can kind of get back at it. Was that late 2021 that she bailed?
It must have been, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
it was the
a
year of
year.
Gaiaism, and that was
Yeah,
2021. Because it got delayed a
so it was
year.
October of 2021.
Yeah,
A year. So it's been a year and a half. She's almost been just absent, not even retired, longer than Hazuki has, or Hazuki was.
crazy.
Isn't that wild to think about?
Yeah.
Because yeah, well, I know, no, Hazuki was like almost 2 years,
Yeah,
but still.
yeah, she went to 2019. So, um, the next match on the show anyway is Maika versus Himeka, which is the Maika or Himeka retirement match. Then we have the Goddess of Stardom
Man,
Championships. It's Nanai Takahashi and Yu defending against Mirai and Ami Sourei. We have an Artist of Stardom Championship match, which is Risa Sera, Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi of Prominence defending against Kairi, Natsupoi, and Saori Anou. Now we will get on to Anu
restart.
later. Yeah, they're known as Restart, which is a nice play on their old faction, which is called Start. They also had base god Hiromi Mimura. Then we
Yes, sir.
have we kind of have mostly matches that were announced already. After that, it's Suri and Chihiro Hashimoto, Maya Iwatani versus Mercedes Money, because she's not losing. Um, Saya Kamatani defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Mina Shirakawa, and then Julia defending the World of Stardom Championship against Tam Nakano. Now, I don't really want to touch on the Saya Mina thing because it was stupid. But the white belt is
uh,
stupid. Like you can do stupid stuff for the white belt and nobody really minds. It's
what
always been
was
a
it
weirdo
though?
belt.
Like that's what
It
like what?
was black ink meant to signify like the blood that fell from her mouth when her teeth got broken.
Then why wasn't it red?
Because I don't know, because black shows up easier. Because it's meant to be disgusting, and black is like disgusting, like black
It
goo.
would, you know what? It would have been cool. It would have been cool if Mina just decided to fucking mist her. Like that would have been way cooler, just for no reason, just out of nowhere. Yeah, I miss people now. Like that would be great. What the fuck was that? That's all I'll say on that.
That's valid. Um, so it was bad.
Damn Julia.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend the Saya thing, but like the white belt has always been kind of dumb. Let's be honest here. They just do shit over there, and we all just kind of go, yeah, it's fine, it's whatever. Now, world title scenario. Tam brought Julia's 2-year-old hair in a bag because she kept it when she won the hair versus hair match, which is very
She's a
weird.
fucking psycho, bro.
And to me, that is not red belt winning stuff. So I really thought she had a chance of beating Julia, but then doing the stalker gimmick, I was
That's
like, not a
crazy.
chance.
That is crazy that's the reason why Tam isn't winning.
No, because
It's
it
because she kept her fucking hair.
completely moved her. It went from like, okay, she has a chance because she's angry to, oh, she's a stalker. Okay, we're not doing this.
I think you're reading too much into it.
Maybe.
I think that's just who Tam is. Have you met Tam? Well, not met,
No.
but have you seen Tam
Well,
before?
yeah, but I
She's
don't know.
fucking a psycho.
There's a certain vibe to the red belt that she's not hitting right now that makes me go, yeah, she's not winning it.
But the black ink did nothing to make you feel like Mina shouldn't
That
win
is
it.
peak white belt. That is peak of the white belt. Come on now. That is the literal definition of that Wonder of Stardom title.
I hate this company sometimes,
Yeah.
man. 'Cause I can't even deny it.
Yeah. So Tam Nakano got bloodied here, which I mean that's huge because I can't remember the last time Stardom did blood.
These motherfuckers, they have heard how often I've been like, "Yo, this match would have been so much better if somebody bled."
Mhm.
Like there have been like 10 out of 10 matches that I haven't called 10 out of 10 because nobody bled, and if somebody bled, it would have made it infinitely better and one of the best matches I've ever seen. And then they decide, you know what? You know what, Dylan? You know that one series of matches that you hate more than any other person hates? They get the blood. And I'm just like, man, fuck you. That's crazy. And they better bleed in this match, or because if they don't,
Yeah, I
I am hijacking the
I
show.
worry that they are building to something that they can't deliver on because
Yeah.
like now we're at the point where if there's no stipulation and there's no like hardcore rules or something, they're just gonna have a normal match. So they have to go out there and both of them have to embody Akira Hokuto on her worst day, or else it's not gonna live up to what they're building to. And if it doesn't build up to what they're building to, it will crash and burn, potentially. Okay, it could potentially crash and burn because
For
you're
me,
really setting expectations
it
high
will.
with bleeding and Tam going, I fucking hate you. I have not felt sanity since the day I cut your hair. I hate you. Like, you have to follow through on this with some violence. And if they grapple at any point, I think you are going to quit the show.
Yeah, no, yeah. I told you that's like I texted you. I was like, if because now they got me excited. They made me a believer, and that's the worst thing you could do
Mhm.
if you're Julia and Tam is make me believe this is going to be a good match. If they do any formulaic shit at all, I am hijacking the episode. I am not talking about the show. I am just getting mad. That's it.
Yes. Yeah,
That's all.
it's going to be a fun week.
Maybe I'll eventually talk about the high speed match because it'll probably, and the Micah Hameka match. But no, like they can't do that. They can't blade at the fucking press conference. Or I think Velke said that Julia might have hard weight her, which is kind
Even
of
better.
way worse. Because she was wearing rings apparently, so it's possible.
Mm.
But if there is no blood, if it is just like classical Julia like violence, like nothing out of the ordinary, because like there are certain the thing about Julia is that she is a violent wrestler and it's great, but because she has that like baseline for something like this, she needs to go above and beyond,
Yeah.
right? She can't just throw her to her table or something. She can't just
This
kind
needs
of
to be
like
the
kick her
Yukihi
off the
match again.
stage.
They need to do the
Yeah,
Yukihi match.
it needs to be the Yukihi match at
Yeah.
least. Like that, like that's kind of where I'm at with this. And that is a hard bar to
Mhm.
pass, you
Especially
know?
for Tam.
So it'll need
She
yeah,
has some
exactly.
tendencies that
She's going to slow shit down at some point, and I'm gonna get upset,
yeah.
right? Like, she's going to get, like, really, like, emotional about it. I'm just like, "No, like, hurt her. Like, don't cry, hurt her. Stop." You know what I mean? Like, that's what I
Mhm.
fear, but that's what I expect, but no, there has to be something about this match because they are getting me too excited for it,
Yeah.
and if it's bad, I'm gonna be very
I
upset.
know they still haven't added a stip, but I'm still 80% sure there will be a stip of some sort. Like,
I mean, I imagine it'll at least be, like, no DQ,
yeah,
no countout
cause
type of thing.
it's
Like,
just
maybe not a death match, but
yeah,
I imagine
you
they'll
can't
fucking
build it like this and just do a normal match. I just don't see it, you know? But maybe that's just me.
I feel like I feel like the stip that would have made sense to add to this is no DQ, no count out, no time
Mhm.
limit. Obviously, I don't want them to go over 30, but you know, even no time limit matches in Stardom have never gone over 40.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, this
you know,
should have been the cage match, not versus
oh,
Natsupoi.
1%.
Like if they were ever gonna do a cage match, it should have been this. Like this fits. You know.
And I think that's also where my fear comes in, because I remember getting excited because I was like, oh, this might be like a like you know a cage match, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? It got outdone by the Spot Fest cage match, which is not good when it's a blood feud type of thing. And that's kind of where I have fear with Tam, because I feel like she can dwell on the least interesting parts of a match a bit too much sometimes. And yeah, hopefully she doesn't do that.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I don't see this match staying as a normal match, but I have no idea if they were gonna add anything it would have been done here, but maybe not.
I mean, maybe I can imagine like right before the match, Julia goes, "Hey, I'm gonna beat your ass. I want no disqualification." Like right before the match, doing
Yeah,
like the stip and the crowd going crazy. Rossi giving the thumbs up, and then they killing each other. Uh, I could see something like that happening
possibly.
if they don't add it beforehand. But it does feel like they would have added it like
Yeah, on
this
this
week.
press
You know
conference.
what I mean?
um, so yeah, I don't know, but that Yokohama card is ridiculous. Like that show is absurd. Um,
Yeah.
like just to put it in perspective, Mai Sakurai and Azumi versus Starlight Kid and Meiho Suzuki is like fifth from the top on this show, and then you have Mercedes Money versus Mayu Iwatani. That is absurd stuff. Um,
Yeah.
onto another card that got announced. We have the card for the semi-final slash final of the Cinderella Tournament. This is on the 15th of April in the Yoyogi Stadium second gymnasium. In the opener, we will have Hanako versus Aya Sakura in a meeting of two of the new rookies. We will have Hazuki, Koguma, and Momo Kogo versus Mariah May, Xena, and X. There is a match that this is a good one. Mai Iwatani, Sai Ida, and Hanan versus Nanai Takahashi, Yu, and Yuna Mizumori. So I like that.
That's decent.
It's Tami Hashishita, Sai Kamatani, Azumi, Lady C, Hina, and Miyu Hamasaki versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Saki Kashima, Rocka, and Rina. So that's getting everybody on the card. Then we have a random singles match, Siri versus Konami. For no reason whatsoever.
In a UWF
No,
match.
apparently not. No,
What? Didn't she specifically challenge her to a
yeah, but
UWF
they're not doing
match?
UWF, supposedly. It's been announced as a normal
Man,
match. So, I don't know.
that's fucked.
So, like,
Because UWF Konami's a different
yeah.
animal for
I
real.
don't know why they're doing this match. Like, Siri is wrestling
Get her ready for
Hiro Hashimoto
Hashimoto?
next week, but is beating somebody who's barely around gonna do much for her? Could they not have asked Chihiro to leave the farm for a few hours and bring, Manami with her for a tag or something? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
That
like I
is a bit
get
strange.
Konami is
I feel like
there.
that always happens with Sendai
It's
though.
true, yeah.
Like Sendai Girls is always like involved just enough in whatever
Yeah.
they're
But
doing.
it's not like they're
Like they do
busy.
not give any
Barely
extra.
run show.
No,
Just ask
exactly.
them
That's the
to be
funniest part.
there. Like, I don't understand. Just ask them to show up and bring one of the rookies that get pinned.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
have been cool.
but
But
anyway,
fuck you.
Siri and Konami should be cool. Um, and we have Himeka's last DDM match and a Yokohama Arena prelude. This is Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Mina Shirakawa, and Saki versus Julia, Maika, Himeka, and Tekla. And then we have the semifinals of the Cinderella, Mai Sakurai versus Waka, Saori versus Mirai. The winner of those two matches will face off in the final. So that is our lineup for the Cinderella final. A downgrade from Cinderella finals in recent years. I think that's fair to say. I
Yeah.
don't think people remember, but the big 5.5 star Shuri Utami match was on the Cinderella finals.
Mhm.
So bit of a downgrade from that, but yeah,
Just a
just a
tad.
small bit. Um,
Because yeah, it used to be like the two great best shows of the year were pretty consistently Cinderella Final and 5-star Final because they used to stack the Cinderella Final heavy, and the big show in the spring usually has something wrong with it, and the big show in the winter usually has something wrong with it too. Uh, so like the tournament finals are like usually the cool
yeah.
ones. This year is not the case. Well, we'll see with 5-star, but this year is not the case for Cinderella.
Yes. But that is all of the news from Stardom over the last week. That is us complaining about the Cinderella. We do have two shows to review now. The first of which was on April 1st. This is the Real Live 360 presents Cinderella Tournament 2023 in the Light Cube Sonomiya. They did 508 fans here, which was labeled a sellout in this hall. So that was a thing. Um, the opener was Hina and Azumi beating Aya Sakura and Momo Kogo. This went 10.5 minutes. That should never happen again. Please don't do that.
It was It was good, and then I was like, "Damn, they still
Yeah,
going. Wow. Why?" And I mean, like, Hina getting the win in her hometown is good. Like, and I thought the match itself was not bad, but it definitely could have shaved off a couple minutes, and it would have been a lot
definitely.
better.
Um, Match after that then was Mirai beating Saya in 5 minutes in a Cinderella tournament match with the Miramari Shock. I mean, this was probably one of the better matches of the Cinderella
Mhm.
tournament. Like they just went in there and beat each other up
Yeah,
and got beefy, and Mirai won.
the finish was a bit abrupt, but I mean,
Yeah,
uh, we need to we need to send Ida out of there,
yeah,
man.
she's poor Ida.
We need to get her anywhere else
Um,
because she
yeah,
man,
I know.
it's not even like I want her to win a belt. I just want her to be like win a match,
Yes.
twice in a row type of thing. Like that's all I want. But
The match after that then was another Cinderella tournament match. This was Xena beating Tekla in 6.5 minutes with a Thunderstruck. Um, this was the match that made it all come clear to me. I remember when Mai Sakurai first debuted, I was like, I think we should all go easy on her. She really knows how to project. She really knows how to play to the audience. She's really good at like giving off this aura that she has something and has some kind of charisma. Xena is like the inverse of that.
that's what I was thinking with Mariah May and her, because that's how I felt about Mariah May. Is that's like, okay, she might not be like the cleanest wrestler in execution, but she has like
Mhm.
a vibe, right? And she kind of like she works. She has a lot of potential because she has the
Yeah,
vibe already. And Xena is the inverse of that. She can do some really good moves, and she's pretty fluid in certain of her some of her moves. Her chops are really good, but like just the
it's
vibe is
not
just
there.
not
And the thing
there.
is, it should be there, right? Because you look at her gear, and her gear is really good. And most wrestlers will have really
Mhm.
bad gear, but she has good gear. Um, I would say she's relatively like, a pretty person in general. Like I could see a lot of people finding her attractive. She's got muscles. Like she should be able to project a little bit and feel like a star, but it's gone.
She got
It
eaten
is like
alive by
it is
Tekla
like that
in that
weird
department.
period where Jake Hager was pushed in Lucha Underground, and you're like, you were a vacuum. You were a black hole soaking up everything. It's absurd. Like,
He's the all
yeah.
American American. She's the all
Oh
Australian
yeah,
Australian.
but I don't
Australian.
know. She's a strange one. Like I think she's a good wrestler, and I mean, if she wants to stick around and eat pins for Club Venus, I have no problem with that. But I'm just so amazed.
Her over Tekla was a
Yeah, that
choice.
was that was something. Close
Like
on it.
clean. not even an over the top, but
Tekla
that
was
was a
injured
choice.
for that initial period where Rossi is like, "Hey, I'm gonna push you a little bit." So now she's just in the doghouse, and it's like, "Oh, that's great."
Which
Yeah,
sucks because she's so good.
she's pretty great. But yeah, this was. I didn't think this was a great match. I thought Xena definitely looked a bit
No.
slower in this one than she did against Hina. Her and Hina had a more competent, put together match than her and Tekla. Maybe because
See,
Tekla
the
was
issue
just a
with
step
her and Hina,
quicker.
the issue with her and Hina was I was like the entire time I was like, who? Who? How do you spell her name? Who is
Right.
this woman? And then the match was over. So I didn't really. I mean, like the match with Hina was fine, but I didn't really,
Yeah.
like see it.
Um, But yeah, that's poor Xena. I'm sure she will come along, but yeah, she's definitely a far from the finished product right now. The next match was Mai Sakurai defeating Mariah May in 4 minutes via over the top rope elimination. Yeah, this wasn't great either. I didn't think either of them had a really good effort. Like
It
this was
started
4 minutes,
interesting,
and
but
Mai
then it fell
Sakurai was
off.
repeating moves. She would get eaten alive in a long form title match.
Like it started kind of good. Like it started with my kind of throwing some heavy shit and Mariah
Hmm.
throwing some heavy shit, but then it just kind of just fell apart, and then the finish was really long and not interesting. Uh, yeah, I feel like no my Sakurai match sticks it out
Yeah.
the entire time, right? Because I feel like the Momo match was like the inverse. I feel like it took a lot for it to get kind of interesting, and then it ended, and the ending was cool. Which so it's like I feel like no my Sakurai match is like consistent unless she's against Julia. Which who would have thought the person who's training her has a good match with her? Like that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it's a weird one. She's really gonna have a. They're really playing with fire, pushing
Uphill
her
battle.
into a big spot if that is what they do. Um, I mean, the fact she's the only one getting microphone time after winning indicates that there's something brewing with Mai Sakurai. So who knows?
Yeah. So I don't know if we've like dwelled on the on the gimmick enough. Because after this match, there's obviously subtitles. So Mai Sakurai pretended to be a wealthy woman from imperialist Japan, using Showa language to talk down to the crowd and call them fat and ugly. Uh, why?
Yeah,
Like, I know said it's shit. I know we've said it's weird and it's like unnecessary. But I feel like we just for a minute, like the actual I want to like talk about the actual like contents of this character.
yeah,
Why?
it's a weird
Like
one because it feels like there's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek vibe that does not translate
yeah,
because we don't speak the language. Like
cuz I mean she's getting big pops
Yeah, like
for it
people are laughing, they're chanting your highness at her, like they're in on it. But as English speakers,
and we're
we're
not.
missing it because there's clearly some sort of indication to her tone and the way she's speaking that makes it jokey and comedic. To us, just reading subtitles on a screen, you don't fully get that. Um,
It feels like she's just
yes,
degrading people. And then Micah's in the background cheering, getting all happy. I was like, "What the
yeah.
fuck is happening right
Like,
now?"
if you were to show this promo to anybody, they'd be like, "So she's the heel, right?" Because it's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat all of the lovely food, and you poor simps are gonna go eat your shit noodles." And it's like, "Oh, all right then." But no, it's
And it's not even it's not like a Maki Ito simp thing either. Like it's very clearly
yes,
mean,
it is very much
right?
you fat slobs have never touched a woman in your life, so here you are. Like it is very
Yeah.
much she read Alan Forel's Twitter that one time and was like, "That's it. That's how we're going." El Phantasmo makes one joke about 40-year-old dudes, and the entire Stardom
No,
roster
that's what I was
runs
about to
with it.
say. Yeah, I was gonna say Al Phantasmo has
Yeah,
ruined my life,
did
yet
yeah,
again. So yeah. First he beat Leo Rush in the Super J like 4 years ago, and now
yeah,
this. Not 4 years ago. That was like 3 years ago. But still, fuck that guy, man. He's
yeah.
ruining my life.
El Phantasmo is ruining my life, huh? But yeah, that is my Sakurai, and sure. Then we had Natsuko Tora beating Tam Nakano in 6.5 minutes by throwing her over the top rope. This had a lot of outside brawling, so
It's wild that Cosmic Angels cheated more than Oedo Tai did, because they simply like caught Tam and
Yeah.
like were like, haha, fuck you, and like Rock is like, what the fuck? That's not okay. And then
Yeah.
Natsuko won.
That was it.
Uh, Natsuko actually beats Tam
Really?
in most tournaments. Uh, she hasn't the outside of that one tournament, the Arisa Hoshiki tournament, because Arisa was gone.
Yeah.
Remember, like, and they had to crown a new champion. Outside of that one, and their first match against each other, like what, 7 years ago now, maybe 6 years ago, Natsuko's beaten her every single
Crazy.
time. Yeah, and this used to be my favorite feud, which is a crazy thought. This used to be my
Yeah.
favorite feud in the
They,
company,
we've come a long way from that.
and now we're here.
Yeah, that was that. And then we had a great match. We had Saki Kashima beating Shuri in 6 minutes. And I mean, I feel like you loved everything about this. This was peak Oedo Tai core. Like, this was Yu Ishino Kagetsu, or Yu Ishino Oedo Tai vibes. Like, this was full
Yeah,
on just completely leaning into the absurdity of the bit. And I loved every second of it. I can't lie. Like Saki Kashima just being a complete shit stir, like being afraid of Siri and being like, "Please don't kill me, please don't hurt me," slapping her, and then being like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me." All the while, Uedo Tire scheming on the outside.
this was my favorite Momo
Oh,
Watanabe performance that she's
Momo
had
had
in
the
years,
time of her
dude.
life. She was living.
She just started she wasn't even hitting, so they locked up Shuri. They like
Yeah,
handcuffed her to the ropes. And Momo wasn't even hitting her. She just took her bat and
poking
started
her.
like
Yeah,
nudging her, like
yeah.
poking her with it. Like, you can't do anything, can you? Look at you, look at you. It's like Shuri's like, I swear to fucking God, I'll kill you. She's like, look at you, you're locked up. Look at that. And I was like, that's perfect. That's what I want out of Wado Tai. Especially because considering a lot
Mhm.
of them are kids. Like, and that's been how I felt that the Natsuko era of Oedo Tai should have been, because it was Natsuko and a bunch of children and wimps, right? Saki's a fucking pussy, let's be real,
Yes.
like that's her gimmick. Like there's a clown for some reason, and then there's children. That is the group. So play to that. And I felt like this match was like the perfect Oedo time match
Mhm.
nowadays, right? Like this I love this. Saki did great character against Shuri, and I actually didn't know the result until I saw this. I thought this ended in a double, because I thought, oh, Waka just advanced all the way without winning a match, pretty much. But no, it ended with Saki winning via revival,
Throwing
and
powder.
yeah,
She
I
threw the
actually popped
powder.
for it.
He had
Yeah,
one
and
one
powder,
more trick up their sleeve. It was
ectoplasm
great.
even. Yeah, I thought this was just one of those really good. I mean, they even did the
Yeah.
water pour, which was my one of my favorite Oedo Tai uh bits from back in the day. Was was they would just randomly pour water on people's heads, and they would get really upset. They'd be like,
Yeah. And
I
and,
just
and
loved it.
Suri
I thought
was
this was a really
upset.
good,
She
really good
kicked the
performance.
shit out of Sakigashima. So that
Yeah,
was great.
yeah. She broke the handcuffs and just
Yeah.
started beating the
After
fuck
that
out of him. It was
first
great.
kick when Saki was like trying to scramble out of the ring, I was like, "Oh, this is it. She's dead. It's gone." Yeah.
I mean, even the start was great, where like Saki just didn't come out. She's like, nah, y'all can listen to my music. I am
Yeah,
not
she didn't
wrestling.
get dragged out. Everything about this.
Real
Yeah,
Tom and
everything about
Jerry
this
type
was
of shit.
perfect. So yeah, we love Saki Kashima around here. Um, the match after
Yeah.
that then was Himeka, Maika, and Julia beating Yuna Mizumori, Lady C, and Ami Sourei when Maika got the win in 9.5 minutes. I won't lie to you, I did not watch this. I didn't think it was all that
with
essential.
with the Kata Hajime,
Woo!
baby. Fucking love that move. No, this is actually a really good match. This is probably like one of the better
Um,
matches on the card. I'm gonna be real. Um, it was quite good. It was just kind of like a sprint. Everybody got their shit in. They didn't really dwell on any pairing too much until Micah and Lady C, and Micah just kind of beat the fuck out of her, and then uh, you know, choked her out. Yeah, I thought it was really fun. Julia in her white woman era, she's got the Lady
I
Frost
love her
haircut.
hair. I love her
Uh,
haircut so much.
Dude, it's good, but like me and Scory, who is locked out of Twitter for saying Vince McMahon should fucking die.
Based.
That's true. He texted me. He's like, "Bro, they silenced a young black man for saying that Vince McMahon should fucking die." And I was like, and he's like, "Was I wrong? Was I wrong for saying it?" And I was like, "Oh, you got a point." And he's like, "Tell everybody I said I'm happy Noam Dar's back." And I was like, "I got you." So yeah, that he's happy Noam Dar's
Okay.
back, guys. Just so you know, you guys don't even know him probably, but yeah, we were just making fun of her because it's a good haircut, but it's just like, damn, she
Yeah.
is Italian.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, this was a
All
really good
right.
match. It just kind of like it was just kind of flowed well.
That's
So yeah,
good.
shout out
The
to that.
main event then was Natsupoi Wakasukiyama.
There's one
Is
more.
there?
Oh no, there's two more.
Oh,
It's not the main event.
I had no idea. Oh,
There's
shit. Oh,
Stars
wow.
versus
Okay.
Oedo Tai.
Um, all right. So the next match was Natsupoi Wakasukiyama and Mina Shirakawa beating Miyu Amasaki, Sayaka Matani, and Utami Hayashishita when Natsupoi pinned Miyu in 11.5 minutes with a ferial gift. Um, so I almost turned this off after Saya and Mina were done because it came down to Natsupoi and Miyu Amasaki, and I was like, do I really want to watch and Miyu Amasaki wrestle to the finish when I've seen the good stuff? I did stick with the match, but this peaked with Mina and Saya because they are great together.
Yeah, and the aftermath is
Yeah.
also really good
Yeah,
because they
so
just
I'm
beat
glad
the
I
fuck
stuck
out of each
around
other.
because that feud
Um,
did get advanced. But yeah,
excuse me. Yeah, the one main thing I got from this match was Waka like insisting to get in the ring with Miyu and being like, "Yeah, I can beat your ass now,
that was
Kevin.
great. Yeah,
I gotta win now, so fuck you." And then Utami tags in and just beats the fuck out of her. I was like, "Yes,
yeah,
this is the Waka I want. Is for her to get a little bit too big for her boots and then get
yeah.
absolutely humbled.
New
It's
Waka
great.
is very good.
Um, yeah, it's quite funny.
If
It's quite
only
good.
she wasn't a replacement for the Cinderella, she'd be a perfect winner. But I can't really
Yeah,
buy it with her being a last minute swap.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just I feel like whatever the plan was for the Cinderella had to be pretty recent,
Oh yeah,
because like they would have been putting Mai Sakurai over more. I mean, she just lost to Kid like 3 weeks ago,
true.
not even last week. Like, you know, like she loses quite a bit, and she hasn't really gotten any head of steam recently until the Cinderella just started, right?
Yeah,
So I feel like whatever is happening is pretty impromptu. So maybe Waka could win it. Why not? You
I'd
know,
be
but
down. Her and Julia in a world title match would be so incredible. No, I don't. Oh wait,
honestly, I think
she
that
wouldn't.
would make
I
more
don't think she
sense.
challenged Julia, which is the only disappointing thing. But
I mean, she could challenge either of them because she has a story with Julia.
yeah,
She had that fucking draw
that's
thing
what I was
where
thinking.
she
Yeah,
won
that
the
would be
rest of
really
the draw.
good to play off. But then is an Ota Ward match Julia versus Waka? Like, is that what you're gonna do with Ota
I
Ward?
mean, are they going to do it Ultra Ward or they could just do a golden week?
I don't know.
Like any of
I
the fucking
I
17
assume it
shows
would
in
be
a golden
Flashing
week.
Champion. Who knows really?
Yeah, but Waka should win. Why not? Who
Yeah,
cares? You know, this tournament's fucked anyway. Um, but yeah, this match was like solid. Mina and Saya did beat the fuck out of each other.
indeed.
Uh, Saya is still good. I feel like people like I know she had the best match of the year this year, in my opinion. But I feel like people are still kind of in that like, oh, Saya's washed because the reign's too long. Like, no, she's still kind of fucking killing it. Like I, and this might just be me. I'd be cool with her beating Mina. I know it's just me, but I'd be cool with her beating Mina. I think she still has legs to it. Unlike Roman Reigns. I think she has some stuff to do. She could wrestle like foreigners for the next 7 defenses, and I would be okay with that. But yeah, that's my take. Let's move on.
The main event then was Hazuki, Koguma, Hanan, and Mayu Utani beating Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Rocca, and Rina. Hanan got the win for her team with a backdrop driver in 16 minutes to kind of give the hometown win, I guess. And
Poor Rena, the only hometown girl to
yeah,
lose.
on the microphone after Hanan was like, "I know we don't really team together, but I would love to team with my two sisters and go for the artist belts, which would be really fun."
Yeah. Her nickname is also changed since she's not a high school fighter
Oh,
anymore. She's now the Young Lioness,
oh,
which is a play on, you know, the young lion
I'm not sure I
stuff.
like that.
Which says I like it, but it says to me she ain't gonna win a belt for another 10 years, and that's concerning. Uh, because that's what it means to be a young lion. If you don't know Hanan, uh, I don't mind it. I think it's better than JK Fighter when she is no longer a JK Fighter. So I you know a new nickname was warranted. Yeah, I thought it was solid. The sisters had a good showing at the end, especially, and Hanan's backdrop driver still goes hard.
There was a weird moment in the post-match comments that obviously haven't been translated by anyone, but it looks like Koguma asked to challenge for the artist belts with Mayu and Hazuki, but I don't really know if she did ask. She just mentioned that they would be like the best team. Um,
I mean, Koguma also did challenge Mercedes Monet.
that's true, actually, yeah. But like it's very weird that they did it in the post-match presser where like nobody can see it because she said, yeah, up until now, I thought Stars would support me and let Hanan win, but since she's graduated from school, I've been able to see that I'm fine on my own. And if we go for the artists, let's do the A team. And I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. But obviously that's just working off a machine translation. Like I don't know, and I don't think anybody has translated them yet. So cool. Maybe Stars challenge for the artist
Yeah,
belts. Maybe they didn't. We'll have to wait and see. Um, that was
I mean that'd be what? That'd be Kairi, Mayu, Sariano, uh, fucking Hazuki.
my
That's a good
body
matchup.
is ready. That is all I can say.
Yeah, or against Prominence. I think that would also be a good match. I don't
Yes.
think it would be really funny if Natsupoi just kept losing. Uh,
Mm,
that's my take. But I don't think she will.
probably not.
So yeah, I think any of those matches would be pretty dope.
Now that was the first show, first preview. The second show and the last show is was on April 2nd. This was Real Live 360 presents Cinderella Tournament 2023 at Cork and Hall. They did 1,295 fans here, which they're calling a full house. I've never seen them use the term full house before, so that's a new one. Um, Corgan does sit more than that, but I don't know if their setup was different or something because there looked like there was more
I think
chairs than usual. They were like packing people in the chairs, but
yeah, I mean Corkin has I mean if you want to see a full Corkin, you go to those New Year's dashes from a
yeah.
couple years ago, right? Where they like fucking threw 1,700 people in there and they looked like it was a fire hazard.
Mhm.
Uh it probably was a fire hazard. So this is a sellout for the Stardom setup. Uh but it's not a sellout for Corkin Hall because they can pack some motherfuckers in
Yeah.
there.
It definitely looked like there was more chairs than usual, but I feel like
Yeah,
they've had
for sure.
more people here with less chairs. So I don't really know what happened, but yeah, that's a really good number. If people have ever wondered why the Cinderella tournament gets blown out the way it does, because it sells tickets. This is the second
Yeah.
1,200 plus gate they've had for this tournament. So, they
And the tournaments have been bad.
yeah, Jesus, imagine they did a good one. But yeah, that's the attendance. In our opener, we had Micah defeating Aya Sakura in 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes. Yeah, Aya Sakura was really bad here. Like, like this, she's worse than Lady C was when Lady C came around. Because I remember Lady C was awkward but
That's
she at least knew what to do. Whereas Aya Sakura at one point completely forgot everything. Like I've never seen anybody freeze the way
oh,
she
I have,
froze.
but they're pretty
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, I thought this was a bad performance from her. Um, Micah, I'll say Micah tried,
yeah.
like not tried, like as in like like tried to make it a great match, but like she tried to help her along. It just kind of fell apart a few
Mm.
times. Uh, I feel like Sakura really needs to find the middle ground with her karate stuff, right? Because she's scared to kick people. Um, because she eh, knows karate and could actually hurt people if she just straight up kicks them,
Hmm.
right? But she's just whiffing every strike. She's barely connecting when she does connect, and that's kind of like her selling point right
Hmm.
now, right? Think of Juria, TGPW's Juria. Imagine her, but she's like an inch away at all times from her opponent.
Yeah.
It's bad, right? Like, and that's a bit concerning. And also, she got blown up. I think at some point, and Micah kind of gave her a receipt by headbutting
Yeah,
her
there was a shoot
twice.
headbutt in this
Uh,
match for no
yeah,
reason.
like shoot headbutts, two of them. Because I think Micah might have gotten a little annoyed. Which I mean, let's be fair here. At least Micah is sharing the half of the damage. Back in the day, Awesome Kong tells a story about Kamiko Mekawa like almost shattering every bone in her face for being like one step behind. Uh, Aya Sakurai was a few steps behind, and Micah gave herself CTE
Mm.
because of it. So, Micah's a very a very giving
You
wrestler.
know,
But
somebody should show
yeah,
Aya those Maikawa tapes because Kamika Maikawa was an absolute baller.
she's who she
Yeah,
should yeah, she's who she should fucking be
like
looking at.
Maikawa
That
is
100%.
Maikawa is one of the best. Like I love her. I must find that match because I need to see her like full on kick somebody in the face. I can't lie to you.
I don't know if it was recorded.
Probably not.
Kong talked about it in a shoot
That's
promo or
crazy.
in a shoot what's it called? Uh
Oh yeah, she did loads of
one of
those.
those
Yeah,
old
the U
shoot.
shoot things.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did loads of them.
Yeah, the U shoot. She talked about how Kamika Mikawa, she was like, yeah, she was nice, but she just would like hurt me if I was a step behind. Like shit
Madness.
was crazy.
Madness. Yeah. I wouldn't put that past Mikala though, to be fair. That does
Oh,
sound like
not at
her.
all.
But yeah, I didn't think Ayla was that good here. It's not just that she forgot stuff, but like Maya or Micah was giving her a lot of room to, fire back and hit forearms. And the forearms were not very good. Like, you know me, I'm all about sound of
Yeah.
forearms. No sound. Very little like spirit in them.
Oomph. Yeah.
You see this match done thousands of times as a Joshi fan because rookies versus pushed wrestlers is one of the most common prototypes of a match there is. And when you see one that's not good, it really sticks out. And this was not good. I didn't think Aya was good in any way in this one. And that's kind of disappointing because I thought she would be the one. And I think down the road she might be the one. But for now, it's one where we should probably just lean back a little. Who did we do this with before? Might have been Miyu Amasaki. Yeah,
Miyu?
where we're just like,
Yeah, Miyu.
we're not gonna hyperanalyze every match. We're gonna take a step back, and in a few months' time, we'll see where she's at. Because that's the best way with some of these rookies. If you hyperanalyze every match, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. So, with Aya, it might be just a case of like, okay, she's not good now. Just gonna leave it for now, see how she goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's for a lot because a lot of people came into watching Stardom, including me, in the uh Ishino era, where she was, or where he was pumping out crazy rookies, right? Utami, Saida, Saya Kamitani, insane. Like, and then after that, it became Miyu, Lady C, and people aren't used to rookies taking time because Utami was champion within a couple
Yeah.
months. You know, what I mean, like it's we're I I think Sprite has been the one who's talked about this constantly. That it's like people need to calm the fuck down when it comes to the kids
He
and the
said that to
rookies
me one time.
because
And
yeah,
but
yeah,
I didn't even mean
and I mean he said it to
yeah,
me a
because
million
I didn't
times.
even mean like, "Oh, she's not a star wrestler at the time." I didn't even mean that, like, in that way, but yeah, he said it to me
Mhm.
as well. I was like, "I didn't mean it."
He's because I mean I always talk about Ruaka,
Yeah.
right? Because I was always like, people give her a raw deal. She's really fucking good. And he's like, doesn't really matter if she's good. She's fucking 16. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like who cares? Like wait, wait a while. Give her time. And that's kind of just where you got to be with someone like Aya Sakura, in my opinion. I mean, that's not how I'm gonna be with Hanako because she's fucking killing it
oh,
already.
yeah,
I'm ready for this. But yeah, I think sometimes you just gotta give them time. Let them grow.
definitely. Now the next match was a big tag gauntlet, and in the end, it was won by Hanako and Suri. So, during their introductory promos, Hanako said, I'm gonna get the first win out of everybody in this class," and
And
it
she
took her
did.
3 matches. So, yeah, her and Siri got the win. I didn't get to,
Did you
no, I
watch
didn't get a
this?
chance.
Okay. Not a lot to drag from. There
Mm.
were some like good matches in it, but I will say one interesting thing because I looked this up. It's a fun fact. Fun fact of the week with Dylan Murray.
Ooh,
Shouts out. Um, the first match was Mayu and Hanan versus Hina and Rina,
right?
right? And I was like, oh wow. Now I think about it, it's been a while since Hina and Rina, the twins, have tagged together. Because it's always Water and Oil or the baby
Mm-hmm.
faces, right? It's always Hina Hanan or Rina Hanan. So I checked, and the last time, how long do you think it's been since Hina and Rina have tagged in a straight 2-on-2
Mm.
match?
I want to say 2 years.
Last time they tagged in a straight 2-on-2 tag match was 2020 in Sendai
I was
Pit, where
close.
they wrestled and lost to Mayu and
Oh,
Hana,
no
the
way.
same people they wrestled here.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so I was like, damn, that is insane. Like that Mayu and Hanan are the only wrestlers who Hina and Rina have wrestled in years. As a straight 2-on-2 tag team. They had that one weird like mix up 3-on-3 match with Amisore, but in a straight 2-on-2, the twins have only wrestled Mayu and Hanan. Uh that's their two most recent matches, one in 2023 and one in 2020. And I thought that was kind of interesting. That was also a fun match.
Yeah.
Uh and then it kind of just got all over the place. Mafia Bella and Tam and Uniman, weird team there. They did a double ring out because Tam and Julia beat the fuck out of each other. Uh, yeah, Ida fucking losing in a match against one of the rookies really upset me. I'm gonna be real. um. Oh, and Club Venus fucked up their spots so bad it
Oh
was
dear.
crazy. Because it was Ruaka and
Mhm.
Kid against Mina and Mariah, and they were supposed to do a double ring out, but somebody got hit first and the other person didn't jump. Like it literally was like 5 seconds in between ring
Oh
outs, and
no.
there's like double ring out, and everybody's like, no, it wasn't. Let's be real here, guys, that was not a double ring out. But yeah, that was funny. And Hanako's dope,
She is.
but Ida shouldn't have lost. That's
That
my
is
take.
fair. It was after this match that Konami appeared by a video promo to challenge Shiri, um, for the match at the April 15th show, which is kind of strange given that Konami is going to be here in like a week or two to kick the shit out of Waka Tsukiyama. So you could have just asked her then, but sure.
She's also on this weekend
Yeah,
show.
Konami's. I don't know what the hell is up with Konami. She like randomly just comes in and out of the card now.
She's becoming like a full
Yeah,
part-timer
we already have enough of those,
and not
Konami.
just a
Thank you.
special appearance.
Um, Anyway, the next match on the show was Waka Tsukiyama beating Saki Kashima in a Cinderella quarterfinal, with the Waka's her like new roll up finisher thing.
Really
Oh no,
bad
she didn't do
roll.
her finisher thing. She like rolled up into a pin from something else.
No, that's her
No,
finisher
it's a
now.
different one that she does. Or maybe she just did it
No,
so
she
badly
did
that it looked like a normal
she
pin.
yeah,
Oh
that's
god,
exactly what happened.
that's not good.
It's bad. Like
Yeah.
I was like, and I didn't get to talk about Waka winning at all because I missed last week. Um Her roll up is bad. I
Mm.
thought she messed it up the first time. It's just bad. She's done it 3 times since. It is not a good roll up. And for someone who couldn't win for multiple years, you need a better roll up than that. That's my take. Because it I'm not a believability in wrestling type of guy, but it just doesn't work for me
No,
on
it
this
doesn't.
one.
That is fair. It's not very good. The match itself was like fine, but definitely not
Saki kicked her
nothing
a few
great.
times.
Yeah,
That
she
was the
would
only
like
complaint.
back sideways to the face. I was like, what the?
Oh
Where did she
yeah.
get that from?
She did like an inverted hook kick, I guess.
Yeah,
Like there was some crazy shit in this
I
one.
was like, where the
With
hell did she
Saki's
get
kick.
that from? This woman's like 30, moving that well.
She
Are
did
you
like
all right?
she did like 3 punt kicks.
Yeah,
Like it's like cuz Waka kept trying to shake her hand and every time she would bow and then Saki would just kick her up and it just kept happening. I'm just like, "Waka, you need to stop trying."
yeah.
And yeah, that was the only. I mean, the match was pretty mid, but Saki was kicking the fuck out of her.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny at the start when they did the handshake, and you could see Tam on the outside, like
Like,
thoroughly
"No.
engrossed. And when Saki kicked her, Tam was like, "Hey, hey!"
What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck?"
Some of the best fun you'll ever have on bad Stardom shows or like mediocre ones is watching the seconds because they're really funny. And I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
the wrestlers
Bro,
are always
later
really
on,
funny.
Tam again, during the beginning match, bro, she was fucking dancing
Yeah,
to Demon Slayer.
love
She
that.
was vibing.
Um, The next match on the show then was another Cinderella quarterfinal. It was Mirai beating Xena in 6 minutes, and yeah, they did a lot of chops. And Mirai was like, "Hey, I'm better than you," and she was indeed better.
This was this was actually good. Like
Yeah,
this was like
it was.
way better than it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, Mirai really gave Xena a lot of room to just do what she does well. And I think she really came up really good, even though it's still funny when you're watching Xena make her entrance, and it feels like Mina has to like shepherd her to the ring. And I'm always like, it's like watching an exchange student or something. This is really funny. But yeah, then Xena just
Yeah.
wrestled her ass off, and it was good. So keep it up, Xena.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the foreigner to be Zoe Lucas.
I don't think it's her because they're doing this whole like, oh, we've got people from like different countries thing, and they've already got somebody from England. So Zoe
Yeah,
couldn't.
but I like it's really funny because I feel like every day I see somebody teasing Zoe Lucas coming
Yeah, but I don't even know if she
in
wrestles
joining
anymore.
Puppy
Like
and
she
stuff.
doesn't even work Rev
I don't
Pro.
think she
And
does.
Rev
That's
Pro,
why I'm
yeah,
confused.
like Rev Pro, she has guaranteed work. Like I don't like they would book her even if there was Minami Toyota was on the scene. Like they would book Zoe Lucas, but she doesn't even work there.
Does
So
Rev Pro even do women's matches anymore?
yeah, they have a women's title. They have two
They
women's
do.
titles.
I have not paid attention to any Rev Pro in so long,
Yeah.
outside of Great Okan uh,
Yes.
making making the United Empire somehow worse by dragging random British dudes
Oh
onto it.
yeah, Rampage didn't Rampage Brown join or something?
Was it Rampage or was it was it that other
I
guy?
think it's Rampage Brown.
Who was that guy? Okay, I'm sorry guys, this is like a tangent. Who was that one guy who was like, I am going to be the force that stops people from sexually harassing people,
Oh,
and then
Dan
just didn't.
Maloney.
Yeah, he is also apparently in the
Yeah.
United Empire now.
Dan Maloney is the funniest guy ever.
And so everybody's like, "Damn, so you say that, you do nothing, and then you joined Will Ospreay's group. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is a crazy chain
He
of
was
events."
working like OTT in Wolves like the second OTT started working there, and it's like I don't know if you really care all that much, Dan. Like I don't know about that, but yeah, he
Yeah, Rev Pro, I don't know what the fuck's
I
going
don't
on
know,
over there.
man. I don't.
But I do know Xena versus Mariah was a solid
Yep.
match. It's funny that Xena had like the best kicks on a show that also had a karate. I can't say that word. Um, a karate practitioner. She had the best kicks.
Yeah,
It's a bit concerning, but it was fun.
it's all right. The next match was another Cinderella Tournament quarterfinal. Ami Sakurai beat Natsuko Tora by throwing her over the top rope. The majority of this was just Natsuko beating her up on the outside because she dragged her out during her own entrance and was crowd brawling. Then they did,
Which was solid.
yeah, and then they did
Uh,
minute Hoss stuff, and then it was over. So,
yeah, this could have been better.
yeah, and it was nothing.
So,
Then we had another Cinderella quarterfinal, which was Mai Sakurai throwing Momo Watanabe over the top rope in one of the most clever finishes of the tournament.
yes.
I will give them that. This also had crowd brawling, but this time it was Mai Sakurai going, "These are Wado Tai cheats. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you before you can beat me up," and it was very fun. And then it was over. So, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Mai did the crowd bawling worse than Natsuko did, and considering Natsuko just did it, it was a bit ugh.
Mm.
But I thought it was like an interesting dynamic. And the match, like in the ring, was nothing. And then the finish was really interesting because Momo hit the uh
Meteora?
B driver, right?
No, Meteora.
Or did she?
'Cause that's how
Did
she
she hit
beat
the Meteora?
Micah.
Yeah, no, she hit the B driver, and then like fucking Mai Sakurai took her legs, like and like threw her out because she had it
No,
hooked.
it's the
You know what I mean? Like the
Meteora.
B driver. Did she use the B? I'm checking.
I don't know if she used the B driver, but the finish was on a Meteora, the double knees.
Was it?
Yes. Because you can see her jumping off the
That's
top
wild.
rope in the picture. So, and that's how she beat Micah. She did the Meteora, and Micah fell off the rope. But Mai Sakurai held on and tossed Momo off the rope. So
Julia fucking popped
she,
off, bro. That was great.
yeah, she was funny. I liked that. As I said, the seconds give you so much joy. Just watch them.
Oh, okay. She went for the B driver, and it. Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, never
Okay.
mind. She hit a B driver like a second before she hit the
All right.
Meteora. That's why I was
Okay.
confused.
That is fair. The match,
Good
yeah,
finish though.
definitely. Then Mai Sakurai cut another one of her promos that was interesting. Then we had a Himeka retirement road match. It was Miyuki Takase and Himeka, also known as Beginning, wrestling to a 15-minute time limit with Kakeru Sekiguchi and Natsupoi. Um, this like never hit the highest gear, but it was still really fun.
I thought it was still really
Yeah,
good.
like it was really fun. and it was just crazy to see Takase in the Stardom ring with the fucking
Yep.
devil. Is it Demon Hunter?
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer music, and it was cool to see Kakeru there because she's really cool. Um, so yeah,
The
this was just
beginning
nice.
of the Oz Academy Sekigun invasion on this
Oh
show.
dear God.
Um, that's the evil laugh for shouts out Mayumi Ozaki. Um, yeah, I thought this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. They really gave Kakeru and Takase like time to cook,
Mm,
which is nice because they don't wrestle in Stardom. So you kind of expect them to kind of fall into the background while the Stardom wrestlers take the, you know, the main role. But I feel like they really gave Kakeru a lot of, offense. She got the big hot tag, which was dope, and Takase was beating the fuck on Natsupoi. It was a good match. I really enjoyed it. Um, it's sad seeing beginning end, right? Like that.
yeah, it's kind of weird,
That
isn't it?
really, yeah. It felt weird. That always feels weird though, when like old tag teams who've disbanded team up before the retirement. Like it, it it's impossible to compare the two, but well, one isn't comparable, but like the Hana Kagetsu match, right? That
Mm.
like felt so surreal. This to a way lesser degree, but it still kind of has that vibe of like they are so different than they were when they were beginning, and it feels so weird to see them together and to know it's actually the last time. Like it's so it just makes you feel something, and that's something that wrestling, you know, thrives on, is making you feel
Infamously,
like
you have
weird.
said before, wrestling is meant to make
Wrestling
you
is about
feel
making you feel
things.
things.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really fun as somebody who likes Takase and Sekiguchi to see them in a Stardom ring. Like it was really fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, the match was good, even though it definitely didn't hit like the highest level possible. But I mean, that's understandable. Um,
Before the match, Takase walked out, and I think it was Mai Sakurai that she pointed at and just gave her like a stern look, like, "Hey, I see you.
I remember you.
I remember who the fuck you are."
Yeah, that's great. 'Cause yeah, most of these people, like most of the Stardom roster at this stage, came from Actress Girls in some way, which is
Actress girls or Ice Ribbon, like that's it.
or TG Budokan. So that's yeah, it's great.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, like 3 or 4 of them. 'Cause technically, Natsumi Maki came from TG Budokan, so
Natsumi Maki came from fucking everywhere. She came from Stardom. Like she was, she
true.
was, she was in Stardom. Fucking before
That's
she was,
true, actually.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
weird Stardom Actress
Fucking
partnership in like 2015.
Azumi was calling Natsumi Maki a joke before anybody knew who either of them were. It
That's
was great.
crazy. That's great. Speaking of crazy, though, the main event of the show was an Artist of Stardom Championship match. Kurumi Hiragi, Suzu Suzuki, and Risa Sera beat Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, and Saya Kamatani when Suzu pinned Utami in 16 minutes with a German suplex. This,
That's a crazy finish.
yes, this was great. This was so good.
Yeah.
Like, these two teams are excellent. And when you're finishing stretches Suzu and Utami, you're doing something right. Like that was great. When Utami went for her bad Razor's Edge and Suzu reversed it into a Rana, I was like, that is absurd. You were the greatest wrestler.
That was a clean ass
It was
reversal too,
so
because it
well
like
done.
was so.
Man,
Kurumi and Azumi did some crazy stuff
this
too.
was so great. Like the entire match was excellent.
I'm so fucking Kurumi pilled. You guys don't even know.
Dude, she's the second
She's
best of the
so
like
good.
she's like clearly the
Oh,
second
1%.
best.
Like I'm at the point where it's like on her like, and I tweeted this. It's like on her best day, Kurumi's better than like every other wrestler alive. Like if like on a good day for her, she can out wrestle pretty much anyone.
Mhm.
And you kind of see that here. Her and Azumi did like this really cool spot where like Kurumi went for like a big throw or something, and then Azumi got her in a submission. And like for like I don't know, like a minute and a half, Azumi and Kurumi like were connected to each other, right? Kurumi went for something. Azumi got her in submission. Kurumi overpowered her, got her back in position, and fucking slammed her. And it was just so clean, but also like it felt like a struggle, and it felt so realistic. It was just, I don't know, something about that spot was so cool because it was just a big build up to finally Kurumi just throwing her on her face, and I thought it was great. Azumi and Suzu also did really good stuff. Everybody did great stuff. The only problem I had with this match, it wasn't even really a problem, is Saya didn't really do much. She just
Mm.
kind of was like the like around to triple team stuff occasionally. She didn't tag in, I feel like, at all, which kind of sucks because I think she could have done some cool stuff as well. Her and Suzu obviously have some of the most chemistry like imaginable that we don't really get to see enough of. But yeah, good stuff overall.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, Suzu pinning Utami is huge. Like they've given Suzu more than basically anybody who hasn't signed. Like she's closed
Yeah,
big shows. She's had pay-per-view main
she
events.
pinned Mirai,
She's
she pinned
she's now pinned
Utami.
Utami to close out a Korakuen. Like
Yeah,
they are desperate for her to sign. It is incredible.
it was wild because she lost like 3 in a row in that 5 star, and
Yeah,
we were like, "What are they doing right now?" And then she just went on a tear.
yeah.
Um, there's one more spot that I wanted to point out. Queen's Quest, Aphrodite got Suzu up for a suplex,
Oh yeah.
and Azumi went to the top rope. Azumi dived through Suzu's legs, grabbed like hooked one of her ankles, and just slammed her to the ground for like a triple team suplex. I have never seen anybody do it like
Yeah.
that. It was insane. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really
Like
good.
Azumi looks like she broke her fucking tailbone, but it looked dope.
And that was like that
Crazy.
that stood out to me as well because I've never seen anything like it.
I rewatched it like 3 or 4 times because I was like, that is an insane way to do that.
Yeah.
Because usually people just, do like the typical assisted suplex. It just kind of, pushes at them. But she just hooked that ankle, went through her legs. Crazy.
hmm
Love that.
Now after the match, Prominence said, "Hey, like Yokohama Arena is around the corner. Let's defend our belts." And out strolls Kyrie, who's like, "Hey, I want to challenge. Like, let me challenge."
She called
Call her
she called
Hiroshi,
Suzu
Hiroshi?
Hiroshi. Wait,
Yeah, Suzu Hiroshi.
Hirose?
Yeah,
Who is a famous Japanese actress, and everybody started cheering
that's
for her.
amazing.
And Suzu's like, no, that's not that's a different person.
That was
And
great.
then Kyrie's like, oh yeah, you don't look like her Hirose Suzu. You're good.
Yeah.
You're Suzuki. And yeah.
And then out strolls Natsupoi, and Natsupoi was just like, I don't know what the hell is happening, but let's go. It was peak Natsupoi. She was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it. And then Kyrie announced, she said, "Hey, my mystery guest is here. You know, the mystery guest has been hyping up for a month now." And out strolls Saori Anou. Uh,
I love Stardom
yes.
because their reveals are either like the most elaborate fucking Momo
Mm-hmm.
masks or Shinigami's, or it's just a motherfucker wearing a masquerade
Yes.
mask that everybody knows who it is, and
And
they just like hold on to it for like a minute.
like Anu wears this mask anyway as part of her
Yeah.
entrance. So she walked out, and most people were probably like, "That's Anu's mask. Like that's Surianu." But she had to get in the ring, turn around, slowly unveil, and then peel off. And at 3 different points, you could sense the arena was ready to pop for her, but they didn't know when to do it. So in the end, she's like taking the mask and showing herself, and they're like, "Whoa, oh my god!" And it's like, okay, that's great. But
Suzu is pog facing in shock.
yeah,
Natsupoi looks like she saw a fucking ghost.
that's why it was so funny.
It was
She
it
she
was
was just
wild.
like, "I have no clue," but yeah, sure, let's do it.
It looked like Soriano was ready to fucking take Natsupoi's head off, and I was
Yeah,
like, what is happening
I
here?
don't know.
Like this does not look like a team. This looks like she's ready to
I mean,
kill
they're
her.
not a team.
Um,
It's very weird, but yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Sorianu was like the last holdout. Like people for a long time have been like, she is a Stardom wrestler. Like she is peak Stardom wrestler, but she would never go there because I mean she was like champion of actress girls for like 2 years, and then Oz was
An
into
ice
her, and
ribbon.
then Ice Ribbon had her.
Yeah.
And now after a very long wait, she's here. Um, it seems like she's gonna be joining eventually. Like her promo felt a lot more like I'm here. Like I'm here to do stuff. And the We Are Stardom account replied to somebody on Twitter who was like, guys, like Sirianu is a part timer. She really loves being a freelancer. Like, don't worry, she's not going to be Stardom full time. And Sunny replied with like a thinking emoji. And there's
I fucking hate that
he's made
guy.
posts on the Meltzer boards also replying to other people, and he's like, you could not be more wrong. So I don't think Sori Anu loved freelancing as much as she kept saying she did, and I feel like she's gonna join Stardom eventually.
Nah, she riding with Sekigun. You don't know
Of
about that.
course,
What you know about what you know about Oz Academy? That's my
too
question.
much. I've
you know.
learned everything against my own will. Um, yeah,
That is the funny thing is like for Maya Yukihi and for Serianu, most of what I've seen from them is from Oz Academy, and I like them. Like I like their stuff in Oz
yeah,
Academy, but everybody's like, dude, that's not.
no,
You need to see more. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with Sekigun. I don't know about y'all. I'm cool with Sekigun. Those are my peeps.
why? That's all I have to know. Well,
Cause
actually, I don't
you
even
know,
want to know why. You just enjoy yourself. Um, so, I I mean, Soriano, Kairi, and Natsupoi, Rossi really said this one is for the gays and the theys because, like, Soriano is anointed a gay icon. I don't know if people are like familiar with this. I did market research.
I was unaware.
I sent a photo of Seirianu into a group chat with my real life friends, most of which are queer as fuck. And I was like, does this
Mm.
look like a gay icon? And they all said, yes, Queen Slay. So, Seorianu, Seorianu,
Their verdict? Yes, Queen Slay. That was their
yeah,
verdict. That
pretty much. So Seorianu was anointed as a gay icon. Kyrie in this fit very much was giving Cher, who is a gay icon. So you pair this Kyrie with Saori Anou with Natsupoi, who is No Thoughts Head Empty, which queer people love. We love No Thoughts Head Empty. And you have a group custom made for the gays and theys. So this is Rossi's attempt to win the gay demographic. That is all I need to say. This group is amazing. They have my loyalty. They and Club Venus are both slaying every day. And when this group wins the artist titles and defends against Club Venus, I will be on my knees yelling the entire match, just you know, all over it. So
Yeah, so what's happening with the factions in this fucking
I
company?
don't know. I part of me thinks like part of me thought that Anu could replace Tam as like Cosmic Angels because she's very much
I
that
feel like
vein of wrestler.
I feel like it's so easy to kill Cosmic Angels right now.
You know,
Because I don't think anybody needs
do
Cosmic
you think
Angels.
that
But the issue is that they're very popular as
do
a
you think
group.
that's the stipulation? Tam puts Cosmic Angels on the line
That's what I thought.
because
That's what I initially thought was it was for Cosmic because she's a bad lead.
yeah,
Like she kicked the fuck out of Natsupoi. Like I was like, oh yeah, her gimmick is that she's a bad leader. And then the Waka match was like, oh no, she's actually a great leader. That whole thing that was all good. And I was like, there's no way that's true. There's just no way that is the story here. Is that Tam is the best leader imaginable because she's bad at leading her
yeah,
friends. Uh, and then she called Julia a bad leader. I was like, that's crazy. uh, but yeah, I think that would be
yeah,
interesting because I feel like nobody needs Cosmic Angels
yeah.
anymore,
Well, Club
right?
Venus is there,
Waka
and
Waka is great for
mhm,
Club Venus. Like I feel like her tagging with the foreigners works, right? You know, like if like because especially after Waka's push dies down a little bit and she's gonna be a mid carder. She's not gonna be protected from
yeah,
here on out. So once it dies down, she can lose for the foreigners when they need to lose, and she could win for the foreigner. You know, like it'll be perfect with her and Club Venus. Um, Poi has fucking restart if they want to make that like a
mhm.
thing. Uh, and Tam, we don't know where Tam's gonna be in a year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at.
yeah. That's why like if they do the stip where like Tam gives up Kozan or something, I think it would make a lot of sense because if Anu, and I'm assuming Anu will join full time if she hasn't already, she will very soon. Um, you're not gonna have her like second in command of a faction. She's a faction leader. You know, like that's her spot. Um, and Natsupoi is her number two, with Kyrie as a revolving member. Kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And Club Venus can basically take Waka and colors or whatever.
And I mean, if they want, depending on what's going on with Unagi, I feel like Unagi in restart would kind of work
Yeah, I don't think she's coming
since
back.
she has
I won't lie to you.
if
I
she
don't think
does
she's coming
actually no,
back.
isn't she a Chigusa
She's
trainee now? Like
yeah,
isn't that just her kid
yeah,
thing now? Like she's about to be wearing the leotards, bro.
yeah.
She's
So I
crazy.
don't think she's coming back. But where
That's
does
the move.
Tam go? Maybe back to Stars? 'Cause
I imagine I imagine she has tags with Mayu for the
yeah,
last
I could see
couple.
it.
'Cause I'm going off the assumption that she she retires by the end of next year at the latest. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So she could just kind of be around. Uh, send her back to Oedo Tai. Why not?
dude, that'd be so fun.
That'd be
Um,
so wild.
I do have to give credit to Scott because Scott copped that this was Anu like way before anybody else. 'Cause he sent me a photo.
Somebody asked. I think was it Ryan? He like tweeted at me, and he was like, "Yo, why didn't you guys mention like Anu as a possibility? Because I feel like she would make a lot of sense." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
'Cause the thing with
oh,
Anu is she didn't seem like a contender because she was Ice Ribbon champion, and then
yeah."
she very quickly lost that belt. And it was only when Scott sent me a photo, and he was like, "Oh, it's Saori Anou," and I went, "Oh shit, of course it is! Like, yeah, of course, it's her." Um, so yeah, he wanted praise because he copped it like way before me, and he was right. So shout out Scott and shout out I guess us because we did say last week that it would be Anu because we finally put two and two together. But in fairness, it was hard to predict it would be her when she was Ice Ribbon champion. So it was only when she lost it that she entered consideration. But yeah, the fact that she kind of dropped it so quickly and out of nowhere kind of did indicate something was up. So it made sense in hindsight.
Yeah.
Because like nothing, I loved Totoro Satsuki, but like, why would you have her win the belt from Anu? You know, so that should have set off red flags. But
I mean, uh, that should. Ice Room is dying,
that
so
is true. That is very true. I keep thinking they're like gone by Ribbon Mania, to be honest with you, but I have no idea. Um, that was the Corkin though. I didn't see anything of the post show promos there. Oh, apparently Anu is back to doing the I'm the indomitable girlfriend thing that she was doing the first time she was in Stardom because she said that in the
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so yeah, because when she was first in Stardom, she was like, "I'm Siriano, I'm the like ultimate girlfriend or whatever," and it seems like she's back to doing that again. So that's fun. Um,
Okay.
Tam seemed very happy with Natsupoi doing this. I think Natsupoi was like, "Hey, are you all right with this?" And Tam was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, win the belts. I don't care." So that's
Oh, that's why I said at the presser that she was representing Cosmic Angels,
yeah.
and she wants to get 3 belts to the group at Yokohama.
All right.
And I was like, that sounds like hell. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah. Well, they're not taking three, so we're all right there.
Yeah.
So there is one show to preview that is tomorrow, but Scott and I already
So
looked at
it's
it.
happening.
Yeah, like Scott and I looked at it last week, so there's no real need. The only interesting,
Is there any guests for
I
X?
have no
I know
idea.
we already did
Like
this,
I
but
keep trying, and every time I think I've found somebody, they're booked. Like I thought it was Danny Jordan,
yeah.
and then somebody was like, "Danny
Oh
Jordan,
yeah, I saw
Danny
that.
Jordan's injured and currently smoking joints in for Circle Six," and I was like, "Oh, sure." And then I thought it was Alice Inc. from Europe because she dropped both of her belts in the promotion she works for. There was an all women's show the other day from one of her regular promotions that she wasn't on, and I was like, "Oh, it's Alice Inc. Like obviously, if she's not on an all women's show, like why wouldn't that happen?" And then I looked her up on Facebook, and she's booked for some like Swedish promotion. So I was like, "That's dead." So Danny Jordan probably isn't her if she's injured. Alice Inc. probably not her. And nobody else really jumps out because a lot of people that you could think of are booked, and the ones who aren't booked are either injured or just like never work anyway. So it's like,
Is there any indie women in Ireland?
yeah, but I think most of them are named for the OTT show that's coming up. Um,
Mm.
and like if they're not on that, then they're on smaller shows. Because I was thinking it would be like
It,
Martina or Debbie Keitel, but they're both on shows.
have we perhaps missed the opportunity to think about the idea that perhaps this is a bad joke. Perhaps Mariah May was teasing who the next member is when she said that everybody in Club Venus has boobies. Um, may, are we I don't know where I'm going with this. I give up. I saw the bit, but I didn't see the
Who
ending
are
of
you
it. That's my bad
thinking
guess.
of?
I don't know. That's the thing is I didn't want to like objectify anyone and just like name a random wrestler with big boobs. and I can't even think of it. I can't even think of one. So I'm just like,
Right.
I don't know.
You fell on your face, huh?
Yeah, that's what happens
Sad.
when I talk about
Yeah,
boobs.
pretty disappointing. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, we won't. There's no real need to talk about that Sendai show again because I mean it'll have happened by the
it's
time
kind
this
of
is up.
yeah.
And we will know X, and we'll talk about who X is next week if it's anybody interesting. I have no guesses, genuinely. Like, there's no indications. It literally could be anybody, given that Xeno was
Oh my
plucked
god,
from obscurity.
this first match on the next show.
Well, on the 8th,
Yeah.
let's scroll down and see. Oh, dear Lord Jesus. All right, so the first show to preview is on the 8th of April. This is in the Aomori Comprehensive Athletic Park Maeda Arena Subarena. I mean, okay.
What a name.
um, in the opener, we have Mai Sakurai versus Aya Sakura. Oh man, yeah. Mai Sakurai is winning, sure.
This, you know what? You know what? My Sakurai is a fucking psycho. This could be like the greatest match of all time, or it
I
could be
I don't think so.
literally -5 stars. Like that. Those are the options here.
Is it like it is
Like
weird? It looks like they have like the exact same eyes and
it.
smile
It's
in these
creepy.
graphics.
It's
Like
creepy.
it is really
I've
weird.
I noticed that as
Like the
well.
eyes are the
Like
exact same, the
like they
smile.
don't even like look similar. Like they aren't.
No.
But when you look at them, like at the same time, it's
'Cause their heads
it's
their
like a
heads
mirror.
are tilting in, like, alternate directions. It's
Yeah.
like they've just mirrored some of the elements. It's very
Their fucking lipstick is the same. Like
yes,
it's what the
I
fuck is
know.
happening right now?
The sm
Their hair's the same length. Like
yeah.
this is
They
weird.
both have they both have 2 straps across the chest, like,
Oh my
literally
god.
2 straps across the chest.
Their arms are both up. What is happening?
This is
This is like uncanny valley type
this is a
shit.
psyop. This is a psyop. Anyway, the next the next match is Yuna Mizumori and
Oh my
Rocca.
god, I need to get that Tucker Carlson clip of him calling something like a postmodern psyop, and it's just this
Hell
picture.
yeah. Um So this is Unimis Mori and Rocca versus Xena and X. So we'll know who X is by tomorrow. Um,
Junimon is just waiting for one of her homies to come back.
yeah, poor Unimon. Io Shirai is coming soon. It's fine. The Neo Stardom Army 2.0.
Io Shirai and Unimon as a tag, that's crazy.
Well,
That is a
well, either
crazy
that or she's
thought.
gonna join like Damage Alt or something. Damage Shift. You know, you gotta.
Damage Control Alt
Yeah.
Delete. Or maybe we're looking at it wrong. Maybe she joins a group called Control Alt Delete.
Maybe. Yeah, you never
Like
know.
in that's the
Knows? I mean, the Vince is back now. All bets are off, man. That entire roster is fucked. Bailey is gonna be here.
bro.
That Bailey Mercedes tag league is gonna go crazy. You,
Honestly, that would be
yeah,
insane. I would love that.
like
Like
n-
that's the dream right there.
news filtered down that Vince was back, and Mercedes Money was on the phone to Kadani. Like, listen, man. Like, I'll work the
She
five
she
star.
started she started posting pictures. Yeah, she started posting pictures of her
Yeah,
in
she's like,
Japan at the Stardom. She's like, "Oh, I'm
yeah,
ride or die
I'll
right
work the
now."
dojo. Sure, man. I'll be in the dojo. What the hell? Yeah, cut price. I'll give you a discount. Yeah, her and Pamela, man, it's gonna go crazy. But
That'd be great.
yeah, that's
This is I know that we are going long, but I wanted to tell a story. I was going to tell you this before we aired, but you wanted to get into it immediately.
yeah,
Last night I was playing, and this is about WrestleMania. It's off topic. I apologize. But last night I was playing Minecraft with some of my friends because we have a server, and one of my closest friends, TJ, he was like, "Hey, my dad wanted me to ask you about Snoop Dogg," and I'm just like, "Is it because I'm black or because I watch wrestling?" And he's like, "'Cause you watch wrestling?" Cause his dad's an old white dude, right? So I
hmm
was like, "Why is he asking about Snoop Dogg?" And he's like, "Yeah, my dad was like, Snoop Dogg wrestled. What the fuck happened with that?" And I had to explain to him how Shane McMahon tore his quad and Snoop Dogg punched the fuck out of the Miz, and it was like an incredible like improvisation from Snoop Dogg that is better than most wrestlers would do, and how like Snoop Dogg's kind of the goat. And so yeah, that was that was the first time one of my friends asked me about wrestling in a long time. And it was their dad inquiring about Snoop Dogg. Thank you.
wow.
I thought that was a funny story.
WrestleMania reaching the masses not through Logan Paul and KSI, but through Snoop Dogg. Isn't that just atypical?
Yeah, KSI, the sole trainee of Pastor William
Yeah.
Eber. What you know about
Oh
that?
my god. What's so funny is KSI did that spot, and I think like 2 days later he got cancelled for using slurs, and I was like, that is
Dude,
absurd.
and that was crazy. That was wild. I was like, it wasn't even 2 days later. It was like 12 hours
That
later.
is
I was like, damn,
absurd.
that
Like,
was quick.
how does that happen? How do you get cancelled for slurs in 2023? Like, I would just not say anything. Like, you just don't do it. And
To be, I'm not going to say to be fair, but in America that is a
what
slur.
did he even
So,
say?
but he's not American. He said he called a Pakistani the first part
Oh,
of that,
right. Okay.
which in some places is just how you like it's like calling somebody Viet, like who's
Right.
Vietnamese, where it's just nothing. But in some places it's like very
Yeah,
offensive.
it's yeah,
So
you're not meant to say that here either, because
yeah, yeah,
people from Dublin are always like that. Oh, well, I'm not allowed to say it, obviously, but
yeah. Don't say
they're all,
that.
they always put a lot of emphasis on it that you're like, oh, I see,
Yeah,
I
there's
see.
there's ways to say it. There's different ways that people
Yeah,
say it that are worse than others. But in America, it's not really a thing like that.
I see. Yeah, because yeah, it's a bit of a
So
no-no
that's why
here.
that's why a lot of Americans were like, oh, o- okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
But there's also not a big Pakistani population here compared to Europe.
that is fair. Yeah, that is fair. But yeah, KSI, huh? What a force of nature.
Much like his trainer getting canceled.
My
Who would have thought?
goodness. Anyway. The next match is Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May of Club Venus versus Lady C and Hanako. Um,
The Towers of Power.
that's gonna go to a draw, isn't it? Like they're gonna do a draw.
I would love that.
It-
That would be crazy.
it's
It
happening.
shouldn't,
It's happening.
but that would be
It is
crazy.
100% happening.
Think about all of the tall people in this match. I'd love it.
Yeah. Poor Mina.
This it's tall girl spring, summer,
Spring. Yeah.
tall girl season. Let's just go with
Hell
that.
yeah. That's a good one. I like that. The next match is Shuri, Mirai, and Konami versus Koguma, Hanan,
Oof.
and Saya Ida.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. My girls are gonna get
Yep.
killed.
The match after that is Miyu Amasaki, Utami Hayashishita, and Saya Kamitani versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. That's probably an Uedo tie win because they're pretty OP.
Yeah, over me.
Is Saki just not on this show? Yeah, Saki Kashima's just gone from this show. That's very weird. Um, then we have is Rocco gone as well? Yeah, Rocco's is not. Oh, yeah,
No,
Rocco's in the other match. Okay,
Rocco was
so
in the
Saki
tag.
Kashima's just
Yeah.
like up and left, I guess. Then we have a six-person tag. It is Julia, Micah, and Tekla versus Tam, Natsupoi, and Waka. They're giving Julia and Tam every chance to preview this match.
Which I don't usually like, but if it keeps building,
As so long as it's
then
not Cinderella matches, I think I'm okay at this stage. That's
yeah, yeah.
I don't know who wins that. Maybe DDM.
That's a DDM
Yeah,
win. Over who though?
Waka.
Maybe Julia pins not. I feel like Waka isn't taking a loss until
Mm,
Cinderella, but she has
well, you could
Konami,
have
so she's gotta
Tekla
take a
pin
loss.
anybody, so you could have Tekla pin Waka if you want.
I feel like Natsupoi probably
Yeah,
falls.
maybe. But she's challenging for the artist belts, so.
Yeah, but she's fucking Natsupoi, bro. She was losing when she was champion.
That is sad, but all right. The main event then is Himeka versus Ami Sourei. Himeka's gonna win because
Why? Wait, what?
it's a Himeka retirement road match.
I know, but of all of the I feel like
She's
there's
gotta
so many
pass the torch
matches.
to all the bosses, you know.
What move does she give to Amisore?
Um,
Knee strike?
maybe. I don't know if she'd give that though, because that was given to her by June. So
Yeah, I don't know if that's hers to give
I don't know
away.
if she gives her anything. I think
Uh,
it's just, hey, here's our hosses going at it. But yeah, Himeka's winning because
Yeah.
she's here. This entire tour has been her going. That don't work for me, brother. I will lose once and once only, and good for her, honestly. The next show then to preview is on the 8th, or not, it's the 9th of April. This is in the Yamagata Big Wing. We're back in the Yamagata Big Wing. I remember this venue.
Must remember.
Um, the opener is Hanako versus Aya Sakura. They're running this back on the
Do you think they
15th.
trade?
Mm,
Yeah, they no, they do this 3 times.
are
They
they?
do it. They're doing it today in Sendai.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing
Okay.
it. They're doing it on the 9th, and then they're doing it on the
All
15th.
right. Fun.
Um,
Yeah. Hanako.
yeah.
Hanako, maybe.
No, I feel like Hanako wins one of these
Yeah.
two, and Aya wins one of these
Okay.
two, and then the last one Hanako probably
Right.
wins.
That makes sense. Yeah. Then we have Meltier versus Yuri Mizumori and Ruaka. Because why not?
Or maybe it goes to like a 10-minute draw. I don't know how what the
Yeah,
timeline
I
is on
it
this,
could
but
be.
they
I don't
might
know. They might
do
just have
something like that.
Hanako like establish a lead over her.
She should
Yeah,
steamroll
I'd
her.
say that was what they
Like,
might do.
but you know,
Um,
what is with Unimon and
I,
Ruaka? Is this just a thing now?
I assume it's because Saki Kashima isn't on the tour and they need somebody to tag with Rocca. 'Cause
Yeah, I guess so.
Kashima isn't on any of these shows, so
She's getting ready for the high speed match that I don't know when
the
that's happening.
10th. Wait,
You could have told me that it already happened. Wait, no, the
sorry,
10th.
not the
There is no show
10th.
the 10th.
It's the Corkin
The
next week, the 14th. Oh yeah, the show
oh,
with
there's a
ALK
oh
versus Mahime. It's that one. Yeah.
oh okay. You could have told me that that match already happened, and I would have believed you because
That
that
is
is
fair. But yeah, that's a Meltier win anyway. Um, then we
yeah.
have Waka and X versus Hanan and Momo Kogo. I guess X win.
Walk-on
Yeah.
X gets the win. Yeah. You know what's really fucked is Momokogo has lost like 30 consecutive matches.
Well, that's what you got.
Like like even tagging with like good people, she hasn't won a
That's
single
crazy.
match. Like it. I'm not saying that she needs to win, but I'm just like, damn, she hasn't even like tagged with
Yeah.
Mayu and Hazuki and won a match. Like that's kind of wild.
Stars are just like lost posts at this stage. It's crazy.
It's really fucked because they feel like the most cohesive group.
Kind of.
Like I feel like they check all the boxes properly, but they just don't have the manpower. Like, not the manpower. They just don't have the
Yeah,
power.
pretty much. The next match on the show. This does not look fun. Mina
Oh my
Shirakawa,
god.
Mariah May, and Xena versus Azumi, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki. I guess Club Venus is gonna win. Sure, why not?
Yeah. It's wild how much Azumi's just been dragging along the undercarders of
Yeah.
Queen's Quest for the past like year and a half.
Where?
Like that's like all she
Oh,
does outside of defenses
yeah, I
every
was
once in
gonna
a
be
while.
like, where's the other two? But they're the Golden Gen match, so that makes sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's like cursed.
This time it makes sense, but I feel like every time I see her, she's tagging with Hina, Miyu, or Lady
Yeah,
C,
it's pretty cursed.
and never like a big, like she's never in like that like main event tag where it's like
Yeah,
really cool. Like that just doesn't happen anymore,
pretty sad, but it's all right. She's gonna be
except
in a
for this
cool
one.
match at the Yokohama show. That's all we need. Um,
Yeah, I mean the day before this we didn't even talk about the fucking triple threat match.
oh shit, yeah, Sakura Genesis. All
We'll
right.
get to that after this card.
Yeah,
We
so
can
we
talk
have
about it.
Mirai, Amisori, and Suri versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. I suspect the way to tie will get themselves disqualified.
That's a rarity that you predict a
Yeah,
disqualification.
I don't know.
Um,
Feels like the move.
Konami over fucking
All
Momo. Who
right, sure.
cares?
Julia, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla of Donadoma.
Actually, no. Ami's the. She has the Cinderella and the
Mm-hmm.
tag belts. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't care.
So Julia, Mai, and Tekla versus Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma. I mean, the Stars team should win there. That's the A team in Tekla.
Yeah, I think like Mayu
Yeah,
over Tekla. I hate that my Sakurai is game positioned over
it's an
Tekla. I'm
odd
gonna be
one,
real.
but
Like I feel like Tekla is. I mean, Mariah May is really coming into her own, but I feel like Tekla is like the foreigner they should really like hitch their wagon to because she speaks Japanese. She's really good at the wrestling, and she's from Austria. So if they want to bring back the SW belt, she can wrestle
hmm
literally anybody. Like I feel like she's such a under set.
yeah, she's what?
Is that you?
What?
Oh no, we
Oh, all right,
reconnected.
okay. Um, oh yeah, this Discord requested us to reconnect. Reconnecting. All right, cool. Thanks, Discord. Um, Anyway, yeah, the main event of the show then is a Himeka Retirement Road Golden Generation Showdown tag match. It's Himeka, Utami Hayashishita, and Sai Ida versus Maika, Saya Kamatani, and Mirai. So you would think Saya Ida might win, given she's on a team with Utami and Hulk Himeka, but probably gonna lose somehow. To,
It's Mirai, man. Dude, everybody knows I love Mirai. Like Mirai is like even on my spreadsheet, she's the number 3, right? Behind Nanae Takahashi, Sai
mhm.
Kamatani, and Hazuki. Or she's tagged with Hazuki. She's incredible. She should lose this match. She's not going to, but she should. Just for the principle. Like
Well,
just for
really,
everything that is right in
Himeka
this
should lose
world.
the match, but she is in her that don't work for me,
She ain't
brother
doing that,
era,
brother.
which is great.
Especially because she's gonna lose to Micah
Yeah.
at the Yokohama show. So there's no way that like they have Micah over maybe like Saya
Yeah, you
Kamatani
could do
over
that. They
Himeka.
were Himeka was like a big part of establishing Saya Kamatani. Like I don't know if people remember that, but
Funnily enough, when you look at these teams, Utami, Himeka, and Saida is such a weak team
yeah.
right now that it's like wild to think about. Like, you know, Ida was the last person to like win a championship over Micah and Saya. Like she beat Micah and Saya
Hmm.
twice, like a bunch, and then she got injured. And like Utami's Utami and Himeka's Himeka. But right now, at this exact moment in time, they are just like such losers. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Like like just thinking, oh my God, Utami can't lose. She
She
very
just
much
did,
can.
to be
It's
fair.
it's
So,
a wild
yeah.
predicament. Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, that's that match. That's a
Yeah,
cool match.
it's gonna be a
Very much
beautiful
so, yeah.
match. I'm excited.
And yeah, I guess we should preview it at Sakura Genesis on April 8th. The IWGP Women's Championship will be on the line when Mercedes Money defends against Hazuki and Azumi. I expect this to be a high-speed three-way. I think Mercedes is in Japan at the Stardom Dojo so they can practice their
She is
spots for this. Because there's going to be a
no
lot of
problem.
intricate shit. She's going to need to know what to do. So I imagine she's here practicing this match already, which is good. We like to see it.
Let me see. Let me see if she's posted anymore.
Um, she has
She
not.
has not.
But yeah, I mean, if this is a high-speed three-way match, I don't think anybody will complain. Well, I mean, I won't see it anyway, but if they do, they're silly. This does not need to go 20, doesn't need to go 15. Just give
I
them.
think my bigger fear is the segment time,
Mm,
right? Because like in wrestling, especially in like the bigger companies, it's not about the match time as much as it's about like
yeah.
the segment time. Because Mercedes' entrance is probably going to be
Hmm.
fucking long because she, you know, there's three entrances, so it's going to take longer. Mayu's coming out afterwards because she is off the show on the 8th and she will be at Sakura Genesis, so she'll challenge Mercedes after the match. Um, and all of that, I wonder if they will give them like 20-minute segment time, right? So that they have a 12-minute match and 8 minutes for all the other bullshit. Like that's my fear is that the match gets taken away from because the entrances are gonna go a bit longer because there's three people and there's gonna be an aftermath thing. There's gonna be a
Well, to
challenge.
me,
This, and
that
that.
doesn't
That's my
matter.
fear is that the match ends up
Like,
being like six
I wouldn't
minutes.
be worried about that because, like, they don't need much time to do the cool stuff. Like, they could have an 8-minute match, and I think it would be great. Like that's what they're doing. That's a high speed three-way match, and we've seen
Yeah,
those be really good. Now,
I think the sweet spot is
yeah,
around 10
see,
minutes.
this is the fifth match on the show, which indicates it could get about 10 minutes. Because I mean, you have this and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino, and that's capped at 15 minutes. So I mean, that can't go
Yeah,
super long. I doubt the tag title match is going to go that long. Um, and
right.
before that, you only have tags. So I don't know if anything needs to go like super long before it or after it. Except obviously Okada and Sonata are gonna go like 50, and I'm never gonna watch it. Um, but yeah, I think it could get a 10 minute of match time and 10 minutes of pomp and circumstances or whatever. But I don't really mind either way. I think the whatever they get, they will work to because that is what Azumi and Hazuki can do.
Yeah.
And Mercedes is probably more than willing to do all the creative, fast-paced shit that they're gonna do. So
I mean, she said she wants to make it the greatest triple threat
yeah,
match of all
like
time. So
she's gonna be out of her
she has
shit. Like she's
ambitions.
gonna be trying to do ECW shit. Like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm into this.
I hate. Oh yeah. By the way,
Oh, you can't
for
watch
any
this
people
on
who are
New.
in,
This is not New Japan World.
yeah, no, in Japan.
Oh
That's what I was
right,
about to say.
okay.
For anybody in Japan who is listening to this, I don't. I know there's at least one or two of you I've talked to, but for anybody in Japan, you cannot watch this live,
What the hell?
which is bullshit because there's like an agreement deal or something. I don't know. It's only on delay in Japan. In Japan, you will be able to watch it live in the West everywhere that isn't Japan. But for anybody in America, it is a later show. It is, I believe, 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. Uh, Eastern time, or
Jesus.
maybe that's Central time. It's late. It's a later show, especially for a big show. Usually they do their bigger shows like around midnight my time,
Yeah.
but this one's gonna be 2 a.m. my time, I believe, which sucks because I have to work the next day. Uh, so it's funny because I'm also a big Sonata fan, so I wanted to watch the main event, but I'm gonna be up until 2 hours before I go to work if I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. But yeah, so anybody in Japan, unfortunately, you can't watch it live on New Japan World. I think Waka was like talking about that. She was like, "Is there any way to watch this match? Because I kind of want to see it." And everybody's like, "Oh, New Japan World," and everybody else is like, "It's not on New Japan World." So
Mental.
kind of bullshit, but
All right, and with that, we are done. We are right up against when I usually have to go, so we finished
Yep.
that well. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
You show.